Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. So right now I'm just adding some concealer to my lid. This will give me a smooth and clean surface to work on. You can also add a eyeshadow primer, but a concealer works just as well. And the first shade I'm going to be using is this yellowish orangish color out of this NYX palette. And I'm going to be using this as a transition color. So first I'm just going to be stamping this into place and then I'm going to blend it out. And I'm going to build this color up a little bit because as you can see, it's not really showing through the way I wanted it to. But once you build it up, it will show through perfect. This is one of the first eyeshadow palettes that I bought, and I bought it because of the colors are very bold and pigmented, and I just love the way that this yellow is showing up. And now I'm going to go in with another NYX palette, and I'm taking this orange shade, and I'm going to apply this right under that yellow, leaving a little bit of that yellow to show through. And I'm just going to build that up a little bit until I'm satisfied with the color and the placement. And then I'm going to blend everything together so I don't have any harsh lines. You also can go in with this orange shade first. It just depends on how you want to do it. So that orange didn't make that yellow disappear, I'm just going to go back in with a little more of that orange so that it'll show through a little more. And because this is a fall look, I decided to add a little bit of that brown as well. And I'm just going to apply that right under that orange, leaving a little space for that orange to show through. I'm also going to build this up as well, making sure that I make the line a little bit thinner towards the front part because it's not going to really show that much, but it's going to show enough. But really making sure that outer corner in the center part is nice and blended. And with this palette, I'm going to go in with this brownish black, and I'm going to start off by applying it to the outer corner and fade that into the rest of that brown. And because that other brown did not show the way I wanted it to, I'm just going to blend that in with that. And then to get rid of any harsh lines that I may have gotten or that I may get, I'm going to blend that out with that orange and that yellow as well. When doing your eyeshadow or even the rest of your face, you want to make sure that you always blending so everything will be nice and seamless and you don't have any harsh lines. So it's okay if you have to spend a little bit longer blending out. Just make sure that everything is nice and blended. And now I'm going in with a clean brush and I'm just blending all the colors together so everything fades in. And now I'm going to do a cut crease, making sure that I leave a little bit of that brown to show through. Not a lot of that brown in the front needs to show through because I mainly wanted just a little peekaboo spot. And with the concealer, I like to pat mine in place, making sure that I'm helping that product dry down a little bit. But because I'm adding glitter on top of this, you want to make sure that it's a little tacky. You can also use a glitter glue, it's all up to you. Now I'm going in with my glitter, and I like to press this into place, making sure that every area of that concealer is nice and covered up. And it's okay if you have to go in the glitter a couple of times to make sure that everything is covered. I'm going back in with that brown shade just to fade out and blend in that brown a little bit more, as well as clean up those edges where the concealer and that brown meets. And once you are satisfied with that, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera. And now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of moisturizer because I did have to wipe away some of that glitter under my eye. And I'm just reapplying a little bit of that moisturizer. And now I'm going to apply some primer, and I've just used a little at a time, and I'm just applying this all over my face. As you can see, my brows and my forehead was already done from a previous video, and all I did was change up my hairstyle and make it a bun. To apply my foundation, I just added a little to the back of my hand and just adding a little dots on my face, and then I'm going to blend it out. I like to do it this way because it helps me learn how much foundation I am applying to my face, and if I need to go in with more, then I can, because this foundation is buildable, but it's also full coverage, so you may not need to go in with that much. Whatever product I may have left over on the brush, that is what I apply to my nose. I don't like to apply that much makeup on my nose because that's where I get the most oiliest. No matter what I do, my nose always get oily super quick. So I just want to apply less there as possible. And now I'm just taking the lighter concealer to highlight under my eyes, and I'm just adding a little at a time. I'm also going to add some to the center of my nose as well as my cupid's bow. And I'm also adding some to the outer corners of my eyes. This is supposed to help give it a more lifted look. Honestly, I don't see a difference between adding it to the outer corner of your eyes as well as doing it the other way that I do it. So, but that's just me. And now I'm blending out the concealer everywhere because I don't want that concealer to sit that long on my nose. The longer you let concealer sit, the more it dries down, and sometimes it'd be harder to blend out, especially if it's a concealer that dries fast. So I'm blending out the outer corners first because I don't want to move too fast and it mess up the eyeshadow. And then I'm blending out the edges of that, going in and now blending out the rest of that concealer under the eyes, making sure that those 2 points connect with each other. Before you go in with any type of powder, you want to make sure that you don't have any creasing underneath your eyes. You are going to have some type of creasing, but you don't want to purposely set the ones that are there. You want to try to blend out as much of that concealer as possible. And I started off by adding that powder on a corner of my nose and then blending it into the under eye area. So I'm just setting everywhere that I added that concealer. And I love the brightness that this gave instead of me having to go in with another coat of that concealer. And now I'm going to bronze my face, and I'm just going on the lines where the darkness on my face is, as well as where that concealer stops. And as you can see, there is a harsh line there, but once I blend everything out, that harsh line will disappear. And because it is fall season, I'm going in with this eyeshadow, and I'm going to take that orange and use that as a blush. That's the beauty of eyeshadow. You can use it for multiple things. You can use it as an eyeshadow, of course. You can use it to help fill in your brows. You can use it as blush as well as some lipstick. And without applying anything onto the brush, I'm going back in with my foundation brush, blending out those edges, making sure that everything is nice and blended. And I'm also going to go back in with some of that powder, and I'm going to go over the areas that I applied the blush as well as a little bit of that bronzer to kind of tone it down a little bit so everything blends together. I'm also going to add some of that powder underneath the bronzer, and this is called the reverse contour. So you don't necessarily have to do it, but I love the way it gives me that more snatched look. That's why I do it. And I'm going to add a little bit of that bronzer onto my nose as well. And for my nose, I really, again, don't like to use that much product, so that's why I don't use that much. Now I'm just going in and applying some of that pressed powder, and this will help set the rest of my face as well as dust away any of that excess powder. I'm also going to go in with a little more of that pressed powder underneath my eyes. This will help smooth everything out and make sure that everything is nice and set. I also applied a little bit of eyeshadow on my lower lash line. Now I'm going in and I'm outlining my lips with a brown lip liner, and then I'm going to kind of set some of that oil that's on my lips with a little bit of eyeshadow. It's like a brown eyeshadow, and then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of red lipstick. I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Everything that I use will be listed down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share with a friend, and I will see you in the next video. I also added a little bit of blue to the outer corner of my eyes off camera, so when I was taking the pictures that it gave it a little pop of color. I will insert a picture at the end of the video because on the thumbnail you cannot see it as good.